Okay, good evening. All right. At this time, I'll call to order the regularly scheduled committee meeting for the Village of Midlothian, Wednesday, March 20th, 2024, at 7 p.m. Roll call, please. Clerk Moscow.
Trustee Burback.
Here.
Trustee Caveney.
Here.
Trustee Crowley.
Here.
Trustee Hilly.
Here.
Trustee Johnson.
Here.
Trustee Killily.
Here.
Mayor LaRue.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. You made it just in time. At this time, I'll open the floor to public comment. Is there any public comment tonight? Then I will close the floor to public comment and move on to trustee business. Trustee Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I have two things tonight. I wanted to let all the residents know that tomorrow the water bills are being run along with renewals for the village stickers and the pet tags. So for those of you in Area 1, should be receiving them, if not by the end of the week, by early next week. So please make time to come on in and get your village stickers and your pet tags, and we would greatly appreciate that. The second thing is I'd like to let the board know that we're partnering again with the Park District. We're not having a senior prom, we're calling it an adult prom this time. And we're gonna have music from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It is on Friday, May 3rd at 6 o'clock. For residents, it's $10. For non-residents, it's $12. The front office will be selling tickets, so come on over and dress in your best 60s, 70s, or disco 80 outfit and have a really good time. And that's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Nothing from the 50s?
We did
No
that
music,
last
no
year.
music from the 50s?
We did that last year.
I wasn't born
I'm
then,
sorry.
sir, I don't know.
I can't. I'm catching up to Don. All right, thank you, ma'am.
Don and I were.
Trustee Burback.
We were born in the 50s.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, we were.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the resolution for the intergovernmental agreement for maintenance by Roy Erickson Outdoor Maintenance Company.
I'll second.
This is for the resurfacing of 143rd Street between Cicero and Pulaski.
Correct. No. This is regular maintenance for,
Oh.
That's only on for discussion.
Yeah, it's on,
I thought we had it on for approval.
No, there is a resolution on it for approval.
that's the,
Sometimes
This is the
approval.
street
Wait.
resurfacing.
Number 2
It
is
says
approval of the
yeah.
resolution. Number 4 is the landscaping for Roy Erickson.
Right.
Right.
We're doing,
Oh, sorry. Wrong window.
Want to start over?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mayor.
Ding.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the resolution for authorizing the Village of Midlothian to enter an intergovernmental agreement for the resurfacing of 143rd Street between Cicero Avenue and Pulaski.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please. Clerk Moscow.
Trustee Burback.
Aye.
Trustee Caveney.
Aye.
Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Hilly.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
aye,
Motion carries.
Aye. Thank you, sir.
Also, I'd like to make a motion that we approve carryover vacation time for Superintendent Sperry.
I'll make the motion. Or I'll second it.
Any discussion? Roll call, please. Clerk Moscow.
Trustee Burback.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Caveney.
Aye.
Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Hilly.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Up for discussion is the agreement with Roy Erickson Outdoor Maintenance for, do you want me to read this whole thing?
No, you sent it to us, right?
Basic maintenance, yes.
Do you know if that was an increase from last year? It had to be, right, because he's got to do the new police station?
We added the, and, yeah. It is for village-wide, including the Village Hall, new police station, metro lots. Everybody should have got the attachment.
Any comments,
Okay.
questions?
Last year, I asked if the remulching, the additional services part, if the remulching could also include the rain garden. And it's not on here again this year. Can we add that? Because I know that the village hall gets remulched, or they turn it over, or they do something every year. And we need to have the same work done at the rain garden, at all the landscape islands.
Okay?
And, I mean, okay, it says added service, added. So all of these things under additional services are included in the monthly price already, right?
Right.
According to this document? So can you ask them to please add the landscape islands at the rain garden?
I made a note.
Thanks.
Any other comments, questions? Would you like that on the consent agenda next week for approval, trustee?
If you would be so kind.
Mayor, we have a deficit in the parking lot fund, so do we want to discuss this anymore before we approve it? Because some of this at least is the janitorial for the metro station plus landscaping. And maybe it's worthy of a little more consideration before we approve it. That's all I'm asking.
I'm fine with that. Where's,
How much is the deficit, Don?
35,000 a year.
Thousand?
That was,
35,000 just in the.
it was
in the metro
discussed
parking
in the
lots.
finance committee meeting yesterday.
Pardon me?
We discussed it in the finance committee meeting yesterday
Right.
and agreed we need to go back and revisit that because
Well, look at it at least. I
the
don't know.
maintenance costs seem awfully high anyway, so.
I don't know if that's
I'd
true
like
or
to
if it's
talk
not
to
true.
Superintendent Sperry about it,
Okay,
but
so
we
let's.
can leave it on the consent agenda for now.
Enough time? Or we want to, my thought would be to sort of kick this around till April. Give everybody time to cogitate with it, It's nice. I don't know, cogitate. Roy Erickson was, for janitorial, he was the cheapest. Even for the
I believe
janitorial
somebody-
service we're using here. So the bottom line is, I'm not blaming anybody for anything, but the bottom line is, we'd like to work towards eliminating the deficit. The cause of, as you observed like yesterday, was less ridership in Metro. It's not that's the major cause.
There is less income generated, yes.
Yes.
But it's not a bad idea to reevaluate
Right,
what we're paying.
right,
Somebody related a story that might indicate that
right.
Can I ask?
not necessarily always the least expensive option.
I do have one quick question. On the last page, under pricing, it's got Village Hall portion, $3,390. Then it says new police station, $1,200, included in the Village Hall portion. So is it $3,390 plus $1,200, or is the $1,200 included? I just want to make sure. I'm reading that right.
yeah, 1,200 to 3,390
Is included.
is the police station.
Okay, well, okay,
I mean,
that's fine.
It's intended to be a breakout, just so you would be able to tell
I mean, is
how
he
much was
doing,
for that.
but is this for, I'm confused, is this for grass down here? Is this the monthly cost for the lawn?
Services to be
Maintenance?
performed, spring cleanup of all lawn and landscape areas, weekly lawn mowing, weed pulling and debris cleanup. Bush trimmings of all shrubs 3 times a year, 3 applications of fertilizer and weed killer, spring, summer, and fall, to all locations.
Okay, I apologize. Does this include, don't they also do the janitorial at the metro station? Is the janitorial included in here? Or is this just for landscaping?
I believe it also.
Oh,
lists-
no, it does include, okay, never mind. Who's doing the janitorial at the new police station? Roy's or the janitorial company that's doing it here?
Ours here.
Okay, all right, never mind, I got it now. So the 3390 includes the 1,200 for the police station.
That's what it looks like, yes.
Okay.
So
Got it.
maybe we put it off till we can have another discussion in finance committee at least?
If it's possible, yeah.
I'll discuss it with Superintendent Sperry if it's problematic.
Right. I don't know when the contract
We'll
is up for Roy.
contact the whole
so-
board.
They usually start April 1st, so
Okay.
be cognizant of that. Although with the weather we're having. Anyways. All right, you gonna hold off then?
Yes,
Okay. Do you have anything else tonight, trustee Burbett?
I do not.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Hilly?
I had just one item and my computer just froze. Give me a second.
You have the approval of resolution.
I got it. I found it. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 24-0320-A, resolution accepting Cook County Government Department of Emergency Management and Regional Security Grant Funds and authorizing the village president to sign all documents and provide all assurances to effectuate and comply with the grant requirements. This is a $177,000 equipment grant for the fire department. This is a necessary step for the county to release the funds to us.
I was actually surprised, because Jackie and I had talked about this last week. I was surprised that what we already had didn't already give the village president that authority, but it doesn't hurt. Hey, Nick, do you think this is something we should have as a resolution, not just for this, but for identifying him as the signer? Or the president as the signer in all
I
documents?
think we should have a copy of this format, this form of resolution, but the county wanted a specific resolution
Okay,
to
so maybe-
attach to the
If you,
application.
when you get a chance, can you send me just a general one, and we can pass that too, so there's one available for any grant we might need?
Yes.
I mean, I'm guessing, this is the first time I've come across this in 2 years, but,
Yeah, MWOD wanted one also for the transfer of the property, the State Farm property that we bought that they wanted. The problem with having a form for it is MWRD, Cook County, whoever.
they want their specific language.
Exactly. They want their words in there
Got
that they
it.
need.
Okay. Well, we can at least keep this on record and just rip off and duplicate whenever we need it, I guess.
So you made a motion.
I did, sir.
Was there a second?
There was not.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we were in discussion.
I'll second.
Now is there any discussion?
I'm done.
Okay. Roll call, please, Clerk.
Trustee Hilly,
Aye.
Trustee Burbett,
Aye.
Trustee Caveney,
Aye.
Trustee Crowley,
Aye.
Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Sir?
That's it, sir.
Thank you. Trustee Cavey?
Thank you, Mayor. I got on my agenda, I just wanted to make the board aware that permit clerk Dana D took a training class to get her ICC permit tech certificate, and that training class was $470, and it is a budgeted item. The class was held yesterday and today. Next item is the State Farm Building. The village is moving forward with the assistance of Robinson Engineering to start the process to get the building demoed and get the property reconstructed and turned into green space. So our village engineer is gonna work on getting an asbestos assessment, and he's putting together the documents. The very, very rough estimate to demo this building and convert it to green space is approximately $183,000. There was some money set aside in the rain ready budget for this year, but being that it's so late in the season, I'm not sure that we'll be able to get any of the work accomplished before the end of this fiscal year, so we'll have to push some of those budget funds into next year to get this done.
Or probably, I think, do we have that much room in the budget? So we're gonna have to adjust it, and we're gonna have to do a grant.
But
Well, the engineer already applied last October for the GIGO grant for,
Oh, that's right.
and then we also, we all received an email from the IEPA with regards to some type of non-pollution grant funding that was available.
Mhm.
And I sent that information over to the engineer. He took a look at it. He thinks we might be able to apply for that grant as well. So, and then I'm gonna reach out to OAI, who is our vendor who's been taking care of our rain gardens, and see if they might be able to include this project, in
With their maintenance.
in their main, well, not only that, but also if they could participate in helping even, once it's graded, if they could help with seeding it and planting the bank of the creek. So I've reached out to them already. And that's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Trustee Kiley.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple things tonight. One is on the agenda for next week will be the abatement of property taxes that pay for bonds that we have to the tune of $825,000. Abatement is a nice way of saying we're going to reduce your property tax levy. This is only possible in large part because people in Midlothian patronize Midlothian businesses. If you didn't, we'd have to, we wouldn't have enough money to balance the general fund. We'd have to take it from some of these other funds that would pay for the bonds, and we couldn't abate as much for the bonds here. So by shopping in Midlothian, filling up your car in Midlothian, eating in Midlothian, patronizing as many businesses as you can, you're actually saving yourself money, because then it allows us to do something like this. This has been going on every year, I think, since Mayor Ray Day, and it's because of the people, the residents of Midlothian are smart enough to shop as much as possible in their own town. And we want you to continue to do it, and even more so if you can find additional places to shop at. But we'll have that on the agenda to reduce the tax levy at $825,000. Also, we talked about Azavar. Azavar is sent late today letters of authorization that they want to work with Comcast for auditing streaming services. But we need an ordinance on another issue, the gas utility tax, and I believe we want to look at the contract again, just to make sure that we're all aware of what the terms of the contract are, and we all agree with it, because the contract was first 2017, I think it was, 2018, somewhere
Yeah,
around there.
we were just
So we
moving.
want to do that again. The original target was to try to do it next week, but I think we'll introduce the information next week, and early in April, we'll put that on the agenda for passage by the board. We're again looking at the gas utility tax, we're auditing liquor taxes, and we're also looking to create an amusement tax that would tax streaming services in the village. So we'll take that as it comes. And that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Crowley.
Thank you, sir. Just a couple things tonight. First, I sent a letter or an announcement to the village board the other day regarding our Civic Plus website. This is the first time that I can remember receiving it. Civic Plus is raising their prices for our annual fee from $4,633.38 to $5,471.80. So a difference of about $800. I didn't think anybody would have a problem with that, but I wanted to let everyone know. I have sent that to Deputy Clerk Harris and asked her to put it on the consent agenda for next week if no one has any questions.
Have we received any feedback on our current state of our website? Anyone?
Well, we have, I mean, when we redid it last year, when we finished the redo last year, we got a lot of positive feedback. I have talked to a couple of trustees who have noticed that there were some things that needed to be updated, just regular maintenance that we probably missed. So I did send an email to all the departments asking them to have their person make sure they're looking at the website and updating it. We are adding we'll probably be adding a couple of things this year. One thing that, we're probably gonna add under your business, sir, is a tab for the liquor commission so that all those forms can be available. Our new police department clerk will be handling that. So as we come up with that, that'll be a new addition to the village website, as well as some other ideas that some people have come up with that I think are pretty good to make it more interactive and just continue to build on it.
So, website's good, our content could be better. Any feedback from you, from residents? Okay.
Next, I just wanted to make the board aware at yesterday's finance committee meeting, for our ARPA funds, we have to pass resolutions. Attorney Valadez has prepared those resolutions. In addition to the resolution to spend our ARPA funds, we need a schedule of the expenditures and what our anticipated expenses are. I didn't get any negative feedback, so I'll move forward with getting that to Clerk Harris this week, the schedule, so that we can put it on the consent agenda with the resolution, so that we can pass that next week. Now, just to remind everybody, this document is a living document, and it will change as costs come up, so that we can stay within the parameters of what we were able to do with ARPA. So what the dollar amounts are today will probably change 60 times in the next 6 months, but we will update that. We'll try to update it at least bi-monthly, and I'll just send that out to the board and let everyone know, and then we can update it as we get the figures. And then finally, for the last couple months, we've been working on a commercial vacant property ordinance. Trustee Caveney had a number of good suggestions. I know I sent those to you. Were you fine with those suggestions?
I think Trustee Caveney has not seen the latest version.
So I knew some of the things that she had caught were corrected,
Right.
but she had sent, like, the couple suggestions that she had talked about. I wrote a little red line, said these were fine, not the corrections, but just some of the suggestions. I think they were good points. So if you could just take a look at that. One of the things that we probably do need to talk about is the fee schedule for this.
And specifically the 6-month, I think Trustee
Yes.
Caveney said that she wanted to make it a 6-month period,
So-
and that certainly could be done. It's
My
just gonna be
vision
more
is-
administrative.
My vision of this ordinance is more to really encourage property owners who are not maintaining their commercial vacant properties to market them and get businesses in and work with the village. So I've always been of the mindset that, we have a lot of great businesses, and we should continue to reward them and work with them and praise them. But when we do have a vacant property that sits vacant for many, many years, we need to start holding those business owners' feet to the fire. And I think the only way we do that, the first step was to get this ordinance, but the second was to create a progressive fee schedule
Right.
for that. That's my opinion. I don't know what the board thinks. I think Trustee Killelea has some different thoughts, but we'll try to be nice.
Since the last time we discussed it, I did incorporate Trustee Crowley's suggestion of a progressive fee, which would increase by 50% every year. I think for the first year and the second year, that amount will be reasonable. It's gonna not be something that they would like to pay, but it's gonna be reasonable. Towards the third or fourth year, I think that's when it's gonna be a definite disincentive. You're looking at $1,000.
I still don't think in the grand scheme of things, though, that's enough. I mean, if you're gonna leave commercial property vacant, and again, this
It
is not.
depends on what you started.
This is not right. This is not to punish people who can't get people in there. These are for the few businesses, vacant properties that are dilapidated, that aren't kept up, that aren't maintained.
Right across the street.
Yeah.
Well, but regardless of which ones, but those are for those types of properties that, the business owners or property owners that are working with us, that are putting their properties out there at market value and are keeping them neat, those aren't the ones that this is gonna affect.
I think the only difference with the commercial context, and I think Trustee Killelea makes a very good point. It is common everywhere for landlords of commercial properties to have little breaks in between their tenants, trying to secure the best tenant that they can get. And I'm not saying that we don't put a high cost for those who go for 2 years, but coming right out, with the economy, various economies coming right out of the gate with something that's prohibitive. There's a difference between a commercial property being vacant, that's common, it's normal, than residential, in which it's a pox upon the community all the time, no matter what.
I don't disagree with you at all. My concern is not somebody who has a turnover. We have that, municipalities have turnovers all the time. Mine are really the properties that have been
Sure.
vacant for 10, 5, 15
Absolutely.
years. And, look derogatory in our community. They look
Absolutely.
bad. And, I think this village is working very hard, as well as the residents, to support good businesses and be business friendly. And I think when we don't hold vacant properties that have been consistently vacant for a long time and aren't marketed at a fair rate, I think when we don't hold those businesses accountable, we're doing a disservice.
I think your suggestion of the ordinance and my reading of it, it's a great ordinance. It's a great ordinance because I think it's fair. I think right now, as it's written, it provides a little bit of time for landlords and businesses
Right.
to get them fulfilled. But clearly, once you go into that second and third year, now you have to come up with a plan. It becomes more. This has to be kept in mind that we have a whole toolbox of stuff for the building department to do outside of the registration and the derelict stuff. That can be,
Right.
Just because they've registered doesn't mean that they can't get citations for the small stuff that we want them to fix, the
But-
grass and all the rest of that.
Attorney Valadez, a lot of times citations don't work. They don't care about a $100 citation. If we have buildings that are sitting vacant, like Trustee Crowley said, we need to make them register and re-register every 6 months, and the fee needs to go up, just like we did with
Oh, I agree.
the Pro Champs registration for vacant residences.
I
And we
agree.
shouldn't let them get off the hook with
All I'm
registering only
saying
once
is
a year.
that let's not focus just on the registration requirements or the derelict registration requirements. In addition to that, we can still write them.
And hopefully we're doing that, every time we can and whenever we can to make sure people are in compliance. But I guess right now we're just talking about this, and I want to make sure that, I don't want to spring this on people and be like, we didn't know, this wasn't, So if we're talking about the fines, again, 6 months, a year, even 2 years sometimes is very realistic when you have to do work and you have to put, effort and money into a building. But 5 years, I think should.
After your 3 year.
I really think once you hit, that like Mayor said,
24 months.
that once you hit that 24 months, it should not be a double fee of $1,000. We should start escalating it every month, every 6 months, whatever it is, but it needs to get people's attention. It needs to be more lucrative for them to rent the building and rent it well and work with the village than it does to be vacant.
I can put a 24-month provision in it, amend it again, and
Please.
have something more significant for the third year.
And
See,
then
I-
add the
Every
zeros
6
to it, because
months.
that's what I would want.
Every 6 months after the second year.
See, I'm sort of, I'm just looking at, since a lot of the vacant properties are retail, and the retail environment is basically terrible, that, I don't think anybody wants to buy a shopping center nowadays. I think they like to run for the people who have them. A lot of them don't want to own
We
them.
don't have any vacant shopping
Pardon me?
centers. Do we have any vacant shopping
Well,
centers?
but the ordinance
But
affects
Don,
affects them.
But it's only for businesses that are not marketing it within 20%.
For property owners that aren't
They're
marketing.
not marketing it at a reasonable rate, they're not keeping their.
For- We don't
Correct.
have it for rental, we just have it for sale.
No, the
No,
very first
for rent.
paragraph references
Rent,
rental.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
rental.
Yeah, but does it set a standard for rental
It does,
too?
for market value, 20% of
20,
market,
it can't be, it
But
can't
that's
be
for
more than.
sale.
No, it can't be
I
more than
think-
25% of the
market.
rental.
Market everything.
Well, again, I don't know,
So again,
I
I
think
don't
we're
think-
blaming, we gotta be careful,
I
we
don't
don't
think-
blame them for the environment and try to,
How do we-
I think for the derelict buildings, I think that's where this
How-
ordinance really does great.
If we have a property that's well-maintained,
Right.
and they're marketing it, let's say it's worth, the market is $1,000, and they're marketing it for $1,000 or $1,200,
Right.
It does not apply.
doesn't apply to them.
Okay,
It only applies to the one that maybe the market value is 1,000 and they're marketing at 7,000. That would be the one, because they're
and
never
I
gonna
don't
get
think,
somebody.
and I don't think we have that in Midlothian.
Right, but that's the thought behind this is anticipating, making sure people know, if you buy a property here, you have to keep it up and you have to market it, you can't leave it vacant.
Right.
And if you do that well, we're gonna be your best advocate, we're gonna, we want to partner with you just like we do all our fantastic businesses. But don't come here and buy a building and let it sit vacant for 4 years and expect us to do nothing about it. It makes our
Right,
community look
as
terrible.
an investment.
Yes.
Because a lot of
Yes.
people buy it as an investment, let
Hope
it
it-
sit,
let it
and
sit.
then hopefully they'll do
Like the
nothing and.
Associated Counselors Building on 147th and Kilbourne.
I think,
That property got sold, and the new owner has never stepped foot in here to show his face or register the property or turn the water on in their name, nothing.
There
So
are-
now it's going to the land bank.
Right.
There are large, commercial property owners who will demand twice what the rent should be.
Just to
because
keep it vacant.
They want it vacant
Right.
because they get a tax break, and that tax
Right.
break is better than marketing
Right.
it for its price.
And that's why and that's what we want to avoid here in Midlothian. We don't want that in Midlothian.
I mean, I think everybody knows how hard this board is working to spur our economic development. I mean, I can't keep up on the spreadsheets anymore. I think, you know, it's clear, everybody on this board is working diligently, is coming up with ideas, is working together, is trying to get, we also have to protect the landlords who are doing good, because there's nothing, in my opinion, there's nothing more, you know, detrimental to a good landlord than seeing the property next to them not being maintained, not being marketed, and so it affects their property. That's not fair either. We have to have a balance.
Right, we have a economic development consultant
Yes.
who's awesome.
Yes.
And you're going all out on this, for sure, there's no doubt about that.
I mean, I think everybody is, you know, I mean, with the land bank, with everything we're doing with our streets and public works, and, I mean, it's everybody, there's not just one person. I know the mayor and clerk have been meeting, Trustee Cavaney and I, and Trustee John, I mean, everybody's involved, every single person here is involved. And I think we should hold the same standard to the businesses that are not doing anything. We should hold a higher standard to make sure that they keep up with our businesses and our property owners that are setting a great example.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you would take a look at that, Nick, and then just give
I will,
us,
I will put those,
and then add another zero, because you're a little conservative.
another zero? Oh,
Yeah, we gotta hit them in their pocketbook, because they don't care. If we write a citation and a building owner comes here, a commercial property owner comes here, and they're given a $100 fine, they could care less about a $100 fine. So, we need to really make it hurt them financially so that they will do something and either sell their building, or lease it, or get it occupied. We don't want empty buildings sitting around.
And you brought before, Attorney Valdez, Assessor Kagi's also pushing this along the same lines.
Mhm.
So everyone is working.
Right.
Okay, anything else on that?
That's all I have tonight, sir.
Attorney Valdez?
I have nothing.
Thank you, sir. I have nothing as well. Clerk Muskel?
I have nothing to meet, sir.
Thank you, sir. Seeing as no further business coming before the board, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.